What's up, everybody? Tree City West here. Gotta get the shades on, it's so bright in here. Hope everybody's having a good week, man. What a fucking crazy week, right? We got a lot to go over. Took a couple day break from streaming, and man, there's a lot of shit going on right now. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Tree City Trading live stream. Welcome KC James. What's up, Allie? Welcome, Louie Lips. As always, we'll start off with Bitcoin on the daily chart. And man, I shouldn't be complaining how boring the sideways action is, because holy shit, how's that for some volatility? Everybody got real scared when Gary Gensler came out slinging his guns, suing Binance. But then the next day they came out and sued Coinbase, and Bitcoin pumped like crazy. So that's pretty wild to see. Let me know how it sounds, guys. Hopefully we're all good. So you can see it's been wild the last 3 days. Super volatile, swinging between 25,000 and 27,000. It's got these big old blocky candles, just a lot of price action, a lot of volatility. You see today we had this super red bullish candle, then we had a bearish candle, then we had a bullish engulfing candle, which is usually pretty bullish, but then we had another big red candle today, and the market's just trying to figure out the price right now. Nobody knows what the hell is going on. SEC looks like idiots, so it's kind of bullish for crypto. But on the other hand, they're also suing Coinbase and Binance, and that's a huge wild card. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Is it going to be like the XRP case? Is it going to be like, dragging on for years and years and really hurting the industry? Or is Congress going to step in? I'm getting ahead of myself. You can tell I'm fired up. Welcome, Six Watchers. All right, let's see, as usual, let's go take a look at bubble maps, see if we got some movement today. We're kind of all over the place. Actually, if we look at the daily, we're not really all over the place at all. Very red day. As you saw with that big red Bitcoin candle. And everything's down a lot, and it's all pretty consistent. Pulsechain's down 11%, Polygon's down 6%, Hex down 12%, Trust Wallet's down 8%, Pepe's down 10%, Filecoin's down 5%. So there's just a lot of volatility. Definitely a bloody day. But not if you're in the Xen ecosystem. Holy shit. DXN has been pumping over the last 2 hours. Well, actually the whole day, really. If we take a look at the DB Xen chart. Last time I streamed, we were talking about this kind of action right here, and just how I was being nice and smooth, and it was getting tighter and tighter in this channel. We had this little breakout, and we thought that was the breakout, and then we kind of had another dump down, and man, that got real crazy too. A couple days ago with DXN, we had that wick down to Dex Screener says $1.62 on the WETH pair, on the wrapped ETH pair. Casey says, yeah, crap, I was hoping for my funds to clear before the pump started. Oh man, I know, I'm having some fund problems right now too. Got a nice little bonus from work, but it's a Visa gift card. I can't buy crypto with it. But nice little pump out of DXN. We did have this green line drawn because it was this previous support and resistance. So let me clear this one out of here. But you can see it really came down. It hit it hard right here, came back up, and then it fell through. It tested it once, and we're testing it again right now. This is kind of as far as charting goes, this is kind of a make or break moment for DBZen. Now, if you're into the ecosystem, DBZen has some big plans coming up, and it's kind of playing into this TA where, show me the TA, I'll show you the news. They're getting ready to launch DBZ NFTs, and people are starting to accumulate DXN. You see some huge buys today. I think the biggest one I saw was 8 ETH. Someone dropped 8 ETH. Bought $14,000 worth of DXN. Right before that, someone dropped 4 ETH. They bought another 800 DXN, and these are different wallets too. Might be the same person, but it's definitely different wallets. Got another 5 ETH here, a 7 ETH here, and these aren't sells, they're buys, and that's why we're seeing these green candles. It's pretty nice. Hopefully this continues. Hopefully we got some new players coming into the ecosystem, or maybe these are some old players buying up the bottom, getting their stashes back in. Yeah, hopefully they took profits responsibly and now they're getting back in. That's the smart move. I know I've been DCAing the whole way down, and I was able to catch some right at $5. Like, look at these wicks. It's because you have these big whales staking, and they pull their stake out and they dump their whole stake. There's not much liquidity, and by liquidity, that's not even just the Ethereum side. You know, there's only 8,000 DXN in the pool right now. There's $20,000 more ETH than DXN in the pool right now, and that's because people want to accumulate it. You know, they're trying to put their single-sided ETH in, hoping it'll trade for Xen or DBZen at a certain price. So that's pretty wild. It's got me fired up out here. Hope you guys go check out my other videos. I've been dropping these little informational videos about DBZen. We have one for DBZen. We have one for the DBZ NFTs. I have one on how to run an X1 node. It's pretty nice. Come check out the, it's in the Xen ecosystem playlist. It's a nice little playlist we're building. Just all this different content of the Xen ecosystem. Definitely hope you guys check it out. What's up, Howler? I'm pumped up tonight. We're going over some crazy stuff. This looks like total market manipulation, probably by Gary and the SEC, to be honest. I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's go back. Let's take a look at the Xen ecosystem. Pull up the Xen chart here. Xen's also having a really good day. I think everybody's anticipating the moon party coming up. Got some cool information about that. So let's get to it. And you can see Xen's kind of in the same move. It was in this big falling wedge. And we were talking about this nice round bottom, how it would come and sweep. We sweep the bottom of this pattern, and it's taken off now. You know, show me the charts, I'll show you the news. And the moon party, everyone's anticipating Jack's stream with Crypto Kindness on Friday. They're making a big announcement about Xen, and excited to hear the details about the moon party. We've been trying to scrape up what we know, and yeah, the official announcement should be Friday. We'll see how that goes. How about your boy Gary? I know, right? We'll get there. Let me change the song. This is a little cheesy. All right, let's go back to the lo-fi. I like the lo-fi playlist better. Let's see. Yeah, this is more my speed. But look at that. We got some big green candles coming in on Xen on this 4-hour chart. The RSI is starting to get oversold, but it can keep going. We know how Xen is, especially when the liquidity gets crazy, money starts coming in. We're starting to see big buys, which is interesting. You know, it's seeing these like 4, 5, 10 ETH buys come in on Xen. You know, here's another 7 ETH. I think people are just buying up the Xen to burn it for the moon party, to be honest. They're trying to get the allocation to X1. And here's another 6 ETH buy. So there's a lot of big players coming into Xen trying to accumulate that ETH. And if you really zoom out on the chart, I mean, this looks like I mean, the bottom. I mean, you can really see it kind of swept down there. So hopefully, and it really depends on the news. It could be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. If the news ends up being, you know, something different, we could see a big dump. But I'm from what I've heard so far, what I'm expecting, I think it's going to be super bullish, and really excited to tune in on Friday. Got to do something about my boy Gary. All right, let's get into that. We'll pull up a couple clips here on Twitter and listen to this hypocrisy of Gary Gensler. Pause this music real quick. All right. So we just got to let's start off. We'll take a listen to how Gary Gensler's out here talking. Heard him on the Squawk Box the other day. How do you spell that? Squawk. And yeah, this right here. He basically said we don't need more digital currency. We have digital currency. It's called the US dollar. And, you know, who is he to say that? Who is he to decide what we do and do not need? You know, he's not in that position. He's the SEC chair. You know, they're supposed to be regulating securities. Why is he telling us what we want?
Digital currency. We don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar. It's called the euro. It's called the yen. They're all digital right now.
They're all digital right now. Yeah, the US dollar's digital. Yep. Let me pull that digital paper out of my pocket right now.
Understand how, right, when I read your Binance, I cannot understand how anyone can assign a value to crypto. It seems entirely predicated on the greater fool theory. Do you disagree?
Look, we as an agency are meant to be merit neutral, Jim. There's a lot of question. There's 10 to 20,000 tokens. Actually, in the Coinbase complaint, we note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens. And there's a lot of debate as to the use cases and whether there's any there.
Now listen to that. Listen to what he's really saying.
We note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens.
So if you're familiar with crypto, you're familiar with Coinbase and the Coinbase wallet. The Coinbase exchange and the Coinbase wallet are two very different things. Gary Gensler here is accusing Coinbase and the Coinbase wallet of being a security, of trading securities because they're partaking in DeFi. Those are the 14, you know, he's saying 20,000 tokens. He's talking about how you can use the Coinbase wallet to participate in DeFi. So this isn't about trading securities like the actual complaint says. You can hear it right here. He's saying Coinbase is letting people use DeFi and we cannot allow that. He's terrified of DeFi.
10 to 20,000 tokens. Actually, in the Coinbase complaint, we note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens. And there's a lot of debate as to the use cases and whether there's any there. Look, we don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar.
So you can see, and it's not that he doesn't understand DeFi. This guy taught the class on DeFi at MIT. You know, he taught blockchain at MIT. He knows what DeFi is, and he's actively targeting it. They're targeting crypto and they're targeting decentralized finance because they see it as a threat to the US dollar. And he's out here saying, we have digital currency. We have the US dollar. We have the euro. It's completely ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense.
It's called the euro. It's called the yen. They're all digital right now. We already have digital investments. And you have entrepreneurs representing digital investments on this program all day long.
Yeah, you can buy a stock on Robinhood or on eToro. That's a digital investment. That's the digital investment he's talking about. You can buy securities on exchanges.
And it's whether it's the big tech companies, the automobile companies, you name it. It's all digital right now, the investing world. So what is the real underlying value of these tokens? And that's why you need full, fair, and truthful disclosures. And that's the regime the securities laws was set up. When there's a group of entrepreneurs, those entrepreneurs should be able to put their case in front of the investing public in what's called a filing.
Casey James says, I feel like the summer is going to have a huge liquidity issue with exchanges delisting trading pairs and macro issue of U.S. needing to raise hundreds of billions by selling treasury bonds. I think you're right. I mean, that's kind of the point, isn't it? They're really trying to lower the money supply. So, especially in crypto, they're really, what's next? Obviously, they're going to target Tether next. Yeah, and that's going to be the huge on-ramp. That's how we deal in crypto.
When I read your Binance.
So once they come after Tether, what are people going to do? They're going to put it back into Bitcoin. All that money is going to flow back into Bitcoin and other crypto. I mean, they can't stop crypto. But, you know, if Tether collapses, if they target Circle, the thing is, you also have to keep in mind that they sold Bitcoin on the Coinbase exchange. So I don't think they necessarily want Bitcoin or Coinbase to fail, because they're using it as an off-ramp. You know, they're stealing the Bitcoin from the Silk Road hack and, you know, all these different things, the Bitfinex Bitcoin that they confiscated from that rapper chick, you know, all that crazy Bitcoin that they have. And then they just send it to Coinbase and liquidate it. So, you know, why are they trying to destroy Coinbase now? Well, no, they only want them to deal in Bitcoin, and, you know, they want to basically run the show and tell everybody what they can and can't do. Your digital currency is the dollar. Your digital currency is the euro. That's what we say. You don't have that choice. And this is what I was mentioning earlier. You know, he taught at MIT. He was promoting Algorand.
Governance is tough. You could create Uber or Lyft on top of a blockchain technology today. Well, maybe in 5 years you could. It would have the performance. Sylvia McCally's Algorand, who's a Turing Award winner at MIT that I work with. Sylvia's got a great technology that has the performance. You could create Uber on top of it. The question is then, who would update the software? Governance is tough. You could create Uber.
So he's basically saying, yeah, Algorand's a great blockchain, but he just named it a security in a lawsuit against, I think it was Kraken. It's so ridiculous.
Going to have any success going forward has to come into compliance with basic public policy about disclosure, about avoiding conflicts, about properly segregating customer funds, and guarding against fraud and manipulation. Without that, this whole area stands a chance of collapsing like a house of cards.
So I don't necessarily disagree with them there. You know, we do need protections in place, and we do need regulation. I don't want to worry about my money getting stuck on Binance and not being able to withdraw it, or having these unfair fees and stuff. You know, that's the type of regulation that we actually need. But this, every crypto is a security, every exchange is a crypto security exchange. They're all in violation. You know, this enforcement. This whole regulation by enforcement, it's ridiculous.
You say XRP is a security?
Well, we're in court and active discussions and litigation on that.
You're in litigation because you do say it's a security.
How would you categorize Ether then?
Look, I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as amended.
I'm asking you, sitting in your chair now, to make an assessment under the laws as exist. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to any one.
I know you've repeatedly said you're not going to speak to one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
And speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000. If there's a group of entrepreneurs in
I'm asking about one.
The public is
You say
So they refuse to acknowledge what is and isn't a security, but they'll go after anybody that's selling any crypto that's not Bitcoin. So it's obviously, Gary Gensler has come out and said that everything but Bitcoin's a security, and Bitcoin's the only one that's unique. If there's a face on the coin, then it's not, it is a security. Casey James says, can I buy directly with USD on DEXs? I use Coinbase to get USDT, then I send a Uniswap or KuCoin for Xen. I'm afraid if Coinbase has issues, I'm kind of screwed. No, I mean, there's definitely a lot of options for you. One option, they're called on-ramps, so you'll want to look into on-ramps. Coinbase is a centralized exchange, but there's also on-ramps like MoonPay. I don't know if you've ever heard of MoonPay. It's basically you can buy crypto with your debit or credit card. It sends it directly to your wallet. When you're buying it, you put in your wallet address. So there's no like withdrawing it from an exchange. It just sends it right to your wallet. And it's a US company. They will ask you for some KYC, but they're registered in the US. So it is what it is. I've used it a few times. It's safe. My preferred is Coinbase, though. I definitely use Coinbase with... I like the Coinbase One subscription. You know, if you look at KuCoin, the price to withdraw USDT on Ethereum is $25. So if you buy $100 of Ethereum on KuCoin, they're going to take $25 when you withdraw it as USDT. Instead, you could pay $30 a month to Coinbase. You buy $100 and you get to withdraw $100. Since you pay that monthly fee, they remove all the fees and you can withdraw it instantly. So that's kind of my shill for Coinbase. Definitely, I'm team Coinbase for sure. I don't have problems like with Binance and Binance US. With Binance US, I would buy some crypto and then I would have to keep it there for a week before I could withdraw it. It was basically unusable. Yeah, I can't really do that. Now Coinbase, if you do set up the ACH, like the direct withdrawal from your bank, they do have a hold time on it. But if you use a debit or a credit, you can pull it out instantly. So I can, buy $100 of ETH instantly and send it to my wallet, and I actually get $100 in ETH, and that's from Coinbase as well. I think that's the point. There's other on-ramps too. Another one is Banksa. I think this is built into KuCoin, but you can also buy directly from their website. It's just another way to get Bitcoin, crypto. Same type of on-ramp. You put in your wallet address, you give them your debit card number, and then it ends up in your wallet. I've used them a few times when I was using KuCoin. He says, I'm waiting for the holding period to finish so I can get more DXN or Xen. Ugh, I know, doesn't that suck? It's like you're hostage, and you're counting down the days until you can actually have your money. And that's the whole centralized idea. The point of decentralization is being able to do what we want with it. But since these slimy centralized exchanges get a hold of it, and I say that, but I'm still rooting for Binance. I'm still rooting for Coinbase.
So we already know in the U.S. and in many other jurisdictions that 3/4 of the market are not ICOs or not what would be called securities, even in the U.S., Canada, and Taiwan.
So this is him teaching at MIT. He says 3/4 of all crypto are not securities. That's 75%. So why did he change? What was his thought process when he was a professor at MIT teaching? He didn't think it was he said only 25% are securities. And it doesn't make sense. Now that he's the head of the SEC, he says everything's a security except Bitcoin. So he's obviously just a puppet.
Or not what would be called securities, even in the U.S., Canada, and Taiwan, the three jurisdictions that follow something similar to the Howey test that we've talked about. 3/4 of the market is non-securities. It's just a commodity, a cash crypto.
Hypocrite.
So you'll hear debates about initial coin offerings and what's a security and what's not a security. Relevant and important debate. But for 3/4 of the market, it's not particularly relevant as a legal matter. So we are...
The guy that's taking XRP, Binance, and Coinbase taught that at MIT.
3/4 of the market, it's not particularly relevant as a legal matter. So we already know in the U.S.
It's not... And I guess that's right. I mean, if he's going after the exchanges and not the... what the hell?
Merit neutral. Look, we as an agency are meant to be merit neutral, Jim. There's a lot of question.
Jim's obviously not merit neutral. So today, Brian Armstrong was on Squawk Box as well. And you could just tell how biased they are. They're serving these softballs up for Gary Gensler. And then when Brian Armstrong comes on, they really ask the hardball questions.
The agency alleging Coinbase was operated
let's watch this whole thing.
An unregistered exchange and broker. Join us right now. First on CNBC is Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong. Good morning to you. We've been debating this at the table for really the last 3 hours, frankly, already. But we're glad to have you at the table to join in on this discussion. Help us understand from your perspective, when you first saw this lawsuit, what your reaction was, and to the extent that you have a defense, and I know you've taken to Twitter, but now you can take to the airwaves, what it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were disappointed to see this complaint from the SEC because I feel like we've had a long history of being very transparent with them and really every regulator around the world that we've worked with. So even going back to 2021 when we became a public company, before becoming a public company, you have to disclose everything about your business in depth. There was many back and forth revisions of our S1. And frankly, they had all the knowledge then, and they allowed us to become a public company. And
so if you hear that, they were working with the SEC, and the SEC approved their company, and they were allowed to become, and they have different, they have a money transmitter license, they have a broker dealer license, and once Gary Gensler was in the SEC, all communication was basically cut off. And that's really what he's talking about here.
There was many back and forth revisions of our S1. And frankly, they had all the knowledge then, and they allowed us to become a public company. And then we're going through time, and Chair Gensler has statements to Congress saying that he doesn't feel he has the authority to regulate this industry. And we're seeing conflicting statements from the CFTC and the SEC chair. And we even filed a formal petition with the SEC asking them for clarity about a number of points in the law, which they never responded to. And then this Wells notice and a complaint arrives. And so this isn't good for America. It's not good for the industry, obviously. And we now need to go get clarity from the courts.
I want to show you, Chair Gensler was on CNBC yesterday. I want to show you a clip and get you to react, if I could. Take a look at this.
In the Coinbase, whether there's digital currency, you have entrepreneurs representing digital investments on this program.
I thought this was the same one we were watching, but this one's a little longer.
If I could.
In the Coinbase complaint, we note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens. And there's a lot of debate as to the use cases and whether there's any there. Look, we don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar. It's called the euro. It's called the yen. They're all digital right now. We already have digital investments. And you have entrepreneurs representing digital investments on this program all day long. And it's whether it's the big tech companies, the automobile companies, you name it. It's all digital right now, the investing world. So what is the real underlying value of these tokens? And that's why you need full, fair, and truthful disclosures.
Do you think this is about disclosures? Or do you think this is about the underlying currencies that are on your exchange?
Now I'll go ahead and answer that for them. It's obviously not about disclosures. They're just not having the communication. I mean, Coinbase has been very forthright in what they're doing. They were communicating with the SEC until Gary Gensler came into office, and that's not how it works. You don't backtrack like that. And I guess you can if regulations change, and if as time, laws and regulations change. So obviously they have to go back on their judgment, but they approved the IPO. They allowed the Coinbase stock to be sold only to sue them 2 years later. It doesn't make any sense.
It's tough to know exactly what he means by that. I mean, our self-custodial wallet is not trading crypto, the ones that he mentioned some huge number. That's happening in DeFi. That's not something that we actually operate the trading out. Our centralized exchange is really trading a much smaller number of assets. We reviewed over 1,000 assets in crypto. We rejected 90% of them because we felt they weren't appropriate for our exchange, and about 200 of them are listed on our centralized product. And I don't know, to his point about, what's the there,
right.
People are using crypto for all kinds of things. They're not just trading, and they're doing payments with it. Ukraine raised $200 million, and presidential candidates are taking it. And it's a new technology that can be used to update all kinds
Thank you. Sorry. Oh man, I was getting into it. I said I'm gonna have to find this tweet that basically explains. Well, man, that just totally derailed me. Sorry, guys. We'll get back to the video. Or no, so I was talking about how the Biden campaign was funded by Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX, and it's curious that Gary Gensler was meeting with SBF and FTX. They didn't sue FTX, who pulled the big scam and took everyone's money, but they did sue the two exchanges that were working with the SEC. So basically, SBF donates to Biden, Biden appoints Gary Gensler, and Gary Gensler goes after FTX's competition. They're not suing FTX, they're suing Binance and Coinbase. FTX are the ones that ran off with their money. It doesn't make any sense.
Kinds of financial services, and we don't need the government picking and choosing our technology winners. Let's let the market decide that.
When you spoke just earlier about the IPO and the IPO process and the back and forth that you had with the SEC, I think implicit within what you were saying was that they approved us as a business. And yet the prospectus itself, as you know, also says very clearly that effectively the SEC has not opined on the underlying business itself. And in fact, that the company can't actually legally say publicly that the SEC has. Do you agree with that?
Well, they allowed us to become a public company understanding the S1, right? And so I feel like that's our moment to be totally transparent with them, show them everything about our business.
And basically, the S1 is one of the forms that you have to file when you go take your company public and start to sell stock. What's interesting about this is, look at the Coinbase stock. It completely tanked. You know, I wonder if there are any shorts open by Mr. Gary Gensler on Coinbase before he made this announcement. And I mean, if you look at this, back in 2021, Coinbase was almost $400. Today it's at 53. That's a big move for a stock, and they're really just hammering it right now.
And how it operates. And so it's not great to have a regulator sort of come back later and say, actually, we changed our mind. Well, this is already
Brian,
a
they didn't
public
change their
company.
mind. We had John Stark, the former SEC Office of Internet Enforcement Chief for 11 years. He was on earlier. He said it's very specific that in the IPO, the SEC does not approve these things. And it says very specifically they could come back and say that there is additional regulation that's required, or additional disclosures, or additional filings. And I think what they're very specific about is you call yourself an exchange, you call yourself a broker-dealer when it comes to Prime. Those are things that you need to register for if you're going to be either an exchange or a broker-dealer, just like the NASDAQ or the NYSE would have to.
And I agree. I mean, 100%. And that's part of the regulation that'll keep us safe. That's the type of regulation that we need. You know, the broker dealer, the guaranteeing that they have the assets, no commingling of assets on exchange. They can't take the customer's funds and put it in something without the customers knowing. That's the type of regulation we need. But Gary Gensler's not giving us that. I'm pretty sure that's what Brian's about to say here.
Well, so a couple points. One is that if you're trading commodities, that doesn't necessarily apply, right? We have actually gone out there and acquired a broker-dealer license because we wanted the ability to trade crypto securities. There's actually, I think there could be a big, robust market of crypto securities trading in the U.S., even though we don't list any securities today. And by the way, I think you're right. The regulator does have the right to come, edit their thinking at times and come back and say, here's a new set of rules, and great, we'd be happy to follow those. The issue in this case is that we're getting conflicting statements from the CFTC head and the SEC head. And then the statements from the SEC are so, such an outlier. They're saying everything other than Bitcoin is a security. Well, that's not our interpretation of the law. That's not what the law says. And that's not what the position of every other country around the world, their financial regulators, is taking. And so I don't think we really had a choice, honestly. We had to go to court to really see if otherwise this industry is just not going to exist in the United States if we took that position.
Warning there could be additional regulation is one thing, but bringing enforcement action on something you knew full well at the time was occurring, that I don't see how all of a sudden you make that leap. That just seems arbitrary and capricious and vindictive.
Yes, he's right. 1,000%. Basically, they were in communication with the SEC now they cut off communication, and now they're being attacked by the SEC. You know, it's offensive and vindictive.
Almost.
That is a regulation by enforcement approach. And, you know, we met with the SEC 30 times in the last year. They never gave us a single piece of feedback about what we could be doing better. We just got silence. And when we asked them, how would you like us to register? You know, we have this dormant broker-dealer license. Could we activate that? We really got silence. And so it's not appropriate for the regulator to come back and do an enforcement action if we don't have a clear rule book and clear guidance.
1000%. And that's basically where we're at right now. You know, everybody is kind of seeing the farce that the SEC's become. And right now we're just waiting on a response from Congress. You know, Congress has to take action. So everybody can call your senator, call your congressman, tell them what's up. I mean, this video is interesting too. The number of times staking was mentioned in the S1, 57. Times we met with the SEC in 2022, 30. Percentage of assets that we reject, 90%. The year the test was written, 1946. It's a bit old. Tech jobs being offshore, 1 million. 33 countries establishing comprehensive rules. 0 in America. And this is exactly what we need. I hope Coinbase really, if anybody was going to do this, Coinbase is going to be the one. You know, they're the one that really stands. They were the original exchange. They've always been the safest. They've always been, you know, that symbol of professional exchange in the United States. And Binance has always been like gross and dirty to me. I got PTSD from Binance. And this is what Jack Levin said about it. SEC destroyed their reputation yesterday, 4 minutes and 30 seconds in. We don't need more digital currencies. And that's exactly right. That's what I said. Who are they to decide what, you know? I thought this was interesting too. I guess there's all this FUD in Asia about the CEO of Binance being killed. And it seems to happen every so often. There was an argument. CZ had an argument with an American inspection agency. CZ took out an AK-47 and the police killed him on the spot and he was wasted. And they have like a picture of somebody in a body bag. So that, I mean, it's wild. Like they're really targeting crypto right now. There's all this propaganda. There's all these fake news stories. It's insane. Yeah, this is kind of what I was getting at earlier. In October 2020, SBF donates $5 million to the Biden-Harris campaign. In February 2021, Joe Biden appoints Gary Gensler. In May 2021, SBF and Gensler meet in person to discuss crypto regulation. In November 2022, FTX files for bankruptcies and leaves customers without access to millions and millions of dollars, labeled one of the worst frauds in history. Then in June 2023, the SEC attacks sound businesses who have been attempting to work with regulators for over a decade in Coinbase and Kraken. And this doesn't even mention Binance because everyone knows Binance is kind of shady. But Coinbase and Kraken are registered companies in the United States, and they're being attacked by the United States government. It doesn't make any sense. It really gets me fired up. And then there's fucking Cardano over here.
Absolutely. You do. Absolutely. I think that if you are in a series of coins that were mentioned, and we all kind of know them, you know, we're talking about Solano, talking about Matic, Cardano. These are viewed.
Like, are you serious? Solano and Cardano. I just made a Cardano with a side of Ada. Cardano salad. So stupid. Let's get back to Xen and Pulsechain. What's happening over in Pulsechain? We haven't checked on Pulsechain in a bit. If you guys remember, I was farming the pools, but I pulled all my pulse out of the pools. Right now, I'm just kind of holding my pulse, watching the price, waiting for the single-sided pools to open. I basically doubled my Pulsechain sacrifice, and I haven't touched my pulse, my PulseX. So I have about 10 million PulseX just chilling. Got about 2 million PLS, and it's just been dipping. You know, it looked like we were finally breaking out. And we kind of had this big consolidation, but it kind of got up. It made a lower high, which is never good. You know, this is kind of looking pretty bearish. We start to see some bearish divergence when we're making lower highs. But it's also a brand new token. I mean, it's so early. It's tough to do TA and stuff like this. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm holding. If they release the single-sided pools, I'll hop in those. But yeah. Oops, sorry about that. All right, hopefully that music's not too loud for you. Let me know if it is. Casey James says, do you feel like the cryptos that SEC called securities will be good DCA targets, or wait till the dust settles? That's funny you say that. I was actually already buying some. I bought a little bit of ADA. Let's pull up TradingView here. It's funny because almost all those coins are basically my portfolio. They called Sandbox. You see these big red candles on sand, but nothing's really making lower lows. You know, you could have got some Sandbox for 30 cents in December, but it's really kind of respecting these trend lines, and it's just kind of playing into the TA. Yeah, we got some bad news, but it wasn't a full capitulation. We're just kind of holding these trend lines right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, we start to just kind of bounce back and forth and hopefully break to the upside, but depending on the news, we could break back down to the downside. And there's a lot of news that could break us down to the downside, like Binance and Coinbase. And then there's also, what's the Fed doing? You know, are they going to raise rates, or are they going to reverse? If they pause, that's going to be pretty bullish, but they're kind of pricing that in. So it might not, it's probably going to be a nothing burger, to be honest. It really is, man. I got Sandbox. I have Near. Near's another one of my favorite projects. Yeah, I'm doing a native staking on Near protocol. Got a bunch of coins locked up in my Near wallet. I wonder if I have that loaded here. Nah. I got Matic. I got Chainlink. They mentioned Chainlink. That's another big one. They mentioned Filecoin. Filecoin's one of the coolest coins. And that's interesting that they mentioned Filecoin, because the one congressman, Filecoin was actually in talking to Congress, and I'm glad someone clipped this. So we got SEC calling we have the SEC calling Filecoin a security, but then we have Congress over here.
Real quick, let me just say, as a member of Congress, Filecoin is not a security. Hey, real quick, let me just say, as a member of Congress,
Filecoin is not a security. It's crazy, right? Yeah, the Congress is telling Filecoin that they're not a security, but meanwhile, here comes Gary Gensler.
Thousands of individuals and small businesses serving as Filecoin storage providers. Some of them are in the audience today. They're contributing more than 15 billion gigabytes of capacity to the Filecoin network. That's enough to store all written works since the beginning of recorded history 10 times over. That storage space is being used to preserve humanity's most important information. For example, Filecoin is storing copies of open data sets created by NASA, NIH, and the National Weather Service. There are thousands of...
Excuse me. Yep, so, yeah, Canada did raise the rates today. That's kind of crazy. They're really trying to keep the price down, you know? They don't like to see the markets rallying, because one, they want to get in low, but the big thing is that they're trying to keep the money supply down. So they don't want anybody getting rich. They want to make it hard to borrow money. They want stocks to plummet. They want unemployment to go up. And that's basically what they're trying to do all over the world. They printed too much money, so now they have to pull back. And they could do it the right way, but they're doing it in a way that hurts, you know, the people that don't have money. What else we got? BNB, obviously, they're saying BNB is a security. But it's not like, it doesn't have that FTX feeling like it did back in November. You know, in November, that was wild. You know, Bitcoin and everything dropped so much. You know, Bitcoin fell all the way to, I'm talking November 2021. I'm sorry, 2022. Yeah, this drop right here. I mean, that was so painful. And that was just FTX collapsing. Never mind Coinbase not collapsing. Never mind Binance not collapsing. Never mind Kraken not collapsing. All these strong US companies making it through the bear market. Instead, Gary Gensler's meeting with FTX, and now FTX crashes the market. It's such a mess. It doesn't make any sense. They're just corrupt. It's corruption at its finest. That's what it is. Avalanche. I'm pretty sure Avalanche was on the list. Atom's another one. Atom didn't even have a price at first. But everything's getting into these huge wedges again, which is very bullish. Aptos down to $7. I'd have to grab some of that. I think that's going to be a solid chain. I was thinking it could get down to $5 though, and it looks like it can. Yeah, if it comes down, kind of touches the bottom of this and goes. Looking at a $5 Aptos. It's another cool DeFi system. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to tell you guys about, Casey James. You might be into this. Actually, I'm going to pause the music. I might make this a little clip. But one of my favorite things to do is to find new projects and new DeFi, new test nets to play with. I like to run validators and test out blockchains. And recently I found this Venom.network. It's a brand new blockchain. They're spinning up their test net. And what's really cool is they're doing the crowdfunding. They're doing a hackathon. They actually have a wallet, and the wallet has a really cool user interface. It looks really nice. You can see I got my 107 testnet tokens here. And obviously, they're not worth anything right now, but if you come over to Venom.network, you can click on Start Testnet, and it gives you tasks that you can do to earn these NFTs. And the rumor is that these NFTs will be worth airdrops once the Venom network goes live. So I've just been doing these tasks. You can see I completed all my tasks. I've completed 9 so far. It's just a lot of little simple stuff. Let me show you here. Like for this one, for this NFT, I earned this Venom Foundation NFT. It just says Venom Foundation, a blockchain without boundaries. And I had to complete these 3 tasks. I joined the Venom Foundation on Telegram. I subscribed to the Venom Foundation on YouTube, and then I minted the NFT. I actually have the NFT now in my Venom wallet, and it's live on the Venom testnet on the blockchain. You know, here's all the different things that I got. I got the Venom Pad. I got the Oasis Gallery, which is an NFT marketplace. I got the Venom Stake, which is a staking platform. They have a couple DeFi swap dexes. They got the Bridge. They got the Venom Foundation, Web3 World, which is another platform. A lot of really cool stuff here. So, and it's all free since it's a test net. None of it's worth money, but it's kind of a way to hopefully farm an airdrop. It's not guaranteed. There's no mention of an airdrop, but they have a cool community. There's a Discord, there's a Telegram, and basically you just earn these NFT achievements by testing out their testnet, helping them build a strong blockchain. And if you're into coding, if you're a developer, they also have the hackathon. There's a lot of projects deploying. There's $225,000 prize pool. Basically, these judges will review the projects. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I'm just kind of testing it out, you know, minting these little NFTs. So, for example, if I go to my tasks here, I think there's one for the faucet. Let's look for the faucet. Where was that? So I go to start testnet here. Yeah, right here. So they have the little Venom faucet, but it's not just a faucet where you get tokens for free. You actually have to do something. So every day they have a daily quiz. So let's take the daily quiz. Is it possible to create a multi-sig account in the Venom wallet? I'm pretty sure it is. So we'll say yes. Congratulations, you successfully completed today's task, and I earned 5 test tokens. So it's a cool way to just learn about the project. You say, when did they go live? That I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's been formally announced. Let's go take a look at their Twitter. It's pretty fun. I like to mess around with like the test nets. So I actually got in their developer chat. I was chatting about deploying a fork of Xen on Venom, but it's not necessarily an EVM chain, so I don't think that would work. Come on, Twitter. Something went wrong, but don't fret. Let's give it another shot. So Venom Foundation, this is their official Twitter. See, they got almost 800,000 followers. The asynchronous blockchain building a more connected future, secure by design, scalable by nature. So the testnet just went live at the end of April. I wouldn't be surprised if the testnet goes for months and months. Usually they have to gather enough data to make sure everything's safe. You know, they're doing the hackathon. Once the hackathon's over, they'll go through all the results. They'll disperse their funds to the companies. Companies will build some dApps, and then once everything's ready to launch, they'll launch the blockchain, hopefully do the airdrop, see some listings on exchanges. That's typically how the blockchains launch. So yeah, you can see they're still in the early phases. They're doing the Venom ecosystem contribution program that just finished on June 2nd. I have some Medium articles. Let's see. Introducing Venom Scan, your window into the Venom blockchain. This essential tool offers the ability to search and explore. So they just released their Block Explorer. So they're going to be testing this for months, if not years. But everything's been, yeah, I mean, just like this guy says, everything's been very smooth so far. It's been a lot of fun just doing the thing, seeing the NFTs pop in my wallet. Hopefully they'll be worth the airdrop. Let's see if I can find my wallet in here. So I'll paste my wallet. Here's my Venom account. Got 107 Venom. You can see all the different things I've been doing. That's pretty cool. I mean, it just looks like a regular blockchain explorer. It's nothing special, but it's easy to understand. You can see one of the tasks was buying $5 of USDT. Another was buying $10 of test Venom and then bridging it to Phantom. I thought that was pretty cool. One of the tasks that is actually testing the bridge to the mainnet. So you're actually moving test Venom tokens from the Venom testnet to the Phantom mainnet and to the Polygon mainnet. And then you have to send them back. So that's what these two transactions are. I receive my test Venom and then I send it over the bridge. That's pretty sick. I mean, it's already working. They seem to have everything in place. Numi token was one of the NFT platforms, and one of their tasks was buying the token It was buying an NFT, but to buy the NFT, you had to buy their token. So you had to go find the DEX that had the token. And it's all just regular DeFi stuff. You know, you have the token, you swap it, then you go buy the NFT. And I forget which one I had. It was like it's called like, let's see. It doesn't seem to be listed here. Yeah, this is cool. This is my first time seeing this. So you can see I got my $5 of test USDT. I got about 15 Numi tokens. I got 10 test Venom tokens. Then I have my 107 Venom balance. It's pretty slick. And they just dropped that on May 26th. So you can see I'm still learning about it, obviously. But it's fun to mess with these things. This is how you learn about these projects. And on that note, I think it's a good time to wrap it up. I appreciate the 5 watchers. Happy you guys have been hanging out with me. We talked about the SEC going after Coinbase, specifically going after Binance and CZ. We took a look at the Xen ecosystem. Definitely check out my how-to videos on the YouTube. What is NFT? What are DB's NFTs? What is Xenon? So Xenon's getting ready to launch on Ethereum. We also have the Moon Party coming up on Friday, so it's going to be a really good weekend. Hope you guys definitely like, subscribe, and share. Oh yeah, one thing I wanted to check on was the portfolio after the huge market downturn that we've had. Last Friday, I was a little weary. I said, hey, I usually don't buy on green candles like this, but we picked every Friday at 8 p.m. to do the DCA, so we did our DCA, and it ended up kind of backfiring on us. We're down quite a bit, 5%. So we've purchased $400 worth of crypto over the last 4 weeks. After the SEC news, we're down 5% on our portfolio, which is about $20. Currently sitting at $377. So it's understandable with all the FUD and the market downturn. This is definitely going to bounce back. I think we're just kind of skipping along the bottom of the market. Bottom of the bear market. So eventually this is going to explode. But right now we're just going to continue to accumulate. And that's the point of DCA. You buy when the price is high and you buy when the price is low. And that way you have a nice allocation once we go into the bull market. That's what this bear market's all about. So, all right. Well, I hope you guys have a good day. I will be back hopefully tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Thursday, so we should be good to go. Definitely hit me up on Telegram. And I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you very much.